You've been to the Fort Prison team. You were told the stories of how at least slavery took place some 400 years ago. What was the kind of emotion that was evoked in you when hearing the stories of how the blacks were treated and taken across the Mediterranean Sea?
Look, it's a pretty horrible experience, and it makes you feel sick. Like the first time I went into a place like that, it made me feel sick when you see the chains and hear about how people were treated as human beings. So I think it's really important. It's a reminder of how important it is to protect human rights everywhere in the world for everyone. And I know the countries that were involved in slavery now have some of the strongest human rights in the world, like Denmark and Norway, I think, which were the countries back then that were running Fort Princeton scene. But yeah, look, I think the slavery is something that I always find really confronting here. But like in Australia, where we have a dark history as well with colonisation, I think the most important thing to do is look forward and walk forward and protect the human rights of everyone.
We got to the lighthouse as well. I think the lighthouse, that metallic one, we have only two in the whole of the world. One is in Ghana, and Volta Region is so lucky to have the one in Ghana and one in America. Climbing to the top, share with us your experience.
Well, it was a great view, and you could see right up the coast. And what I was really amazed about was hundreds of people all pulling in nets, fishing. And I think when I looked at that, I kept imagining that people have been doing that for hundreds or thousands of years. The communities there working together. It's a real team effort. It's not each person for themselves. It's each community working together to pull in those huge, heavy nets.
So you loved it?
Yeah, it was
Which
great.
one stood out for you?
Probably my overall experience, I would say, is the mangroves. I'm a conservationist. I really enjoy nature. And mangroves are really important to protect for the environment because they're the habitat for fish. It's where the fish grow. And they're just really peaceful places to paddle a kayak or canoe.
What can you remember vividly eating in the Volta region throughout your stay? I mean, from... Okay, you mentioned the things you can...
Yeah, you'll have to cut it and then I can say it. But that yummy stuff that we bought yesterday.
Yesterday we have the joey.
Yeah, the joey and those biscuits.
Yes, the biscuits, the akpono.
Yeah.
Yes,
Probably,
you loved it, yeah?
The two things I liked the most were the joey and the
akpono.
Yeah, and also we bought quite a few watermelons.
Yes.
And on the way back, we'll stop and get some rice, local rice, and take that back to share with our friends in Accra.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, meet me there. You were there yesterday.
Yeah.
I realized you don't want to leave. Like the whole place was...
That was like a little sanctuary.
Yeah.
But also the other thing that I quite like about Meet Me There is that it's what in Australia we call a social enterprise. So it seems like a private business, but actually all of the money, all of the profits are put back into the local community for projects, water and sanitation, education. So I really like the idea that people can come and have a break and a holiday here in the Volta region, and the money that they spend stays in the community, but is also invested in the local community in education for the children, clean water, better toilets. So that was a pretty special thing about Meet Me There, as well as the fact that it was a beautiful, peaceful location.
They don't accept plastics. What's your take on that? I know you are such an advocate, a campaigner against plastic use. At least we should minimize the use of plastics.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? Going there, you were served in a bottle, their toilet, they don't use, the normal WC we use around. They normally use the sawdust to decompose it and everything. What's your take on that?
We have to have a much more sustainable life. Like there are 8 billion people on the planet, and I think there's well over 1 billion people here on the continent of Africa. And disposable consumption, single-use items like plastic bottles, plastic bags, we just can't keep using them and releasing them into the environment as pollution. because the plastics are made from the same chemicals as petrol and diesel. So they actually break down to some extent in the environment, and then it gets into our bodies and our food chain through the fish we eat and the vegetables we eat. And also plastic pollution looks really ugly. So for healthy bodies and a healthy economy and a healthy tourism sector, we need to get the plastic out of the environment, and each of us can play a small role. And something as simple as choosing to have a Coke or a water out of a glass bottle rather than a plastic bottle that's used once. The glass bottles, which are reused, is much more sustainable for the environment.
Great one there. So I know you've been to Kakum National Park, and the tourist sites around the Cape Coast Central Region areas. You've been to the Molly National Park in the Northern Region. You are now in the Volta Region. Give us your unbiased judgment. Which of these places has the best tourism experience?
I'm not going to make the comparison.
Well,
Each place has its own uniqueness,
kind of identity,
and each place has its own strengths. And here in the Volta, including up in the upper Volta, like around the Willie Falls and Tugboat Falls area, the greenery and the forests are the things I think that I love the most. But down here on the coast, the ocean, the sea, the mangroves are also spectacular. If I was a local politician or member of the Legislative Assembly here, I'd be making sure that my community had good infrastructure, good roads, so that people can get in and out. I'd be making sure that the health and sanitation for all the people in the communities is good, because the local people, the local villagers here, they're the people that work here at the resorts. So they need to have safe water and good toilets and good schools. And then I'd be protecting the environment, protecting what people come here for, the greenery, the clean, beautiful water, and making sure that the waste management is really looked after well. So making sure that the plastics and the pollution is managed in a way that doesn't destroy the environment.
So lastly, we can't have it 100%. Certainly, not all will be okay with us. What is that one negative thing that you think must be corrected in a way to really give guests, special guests just like yourself, any other foreigner, any local tourist that goes to either the tourist sites or the hospitality spaces? What do you think, from customer service down to the very last experience before you exit? What do you think we should do right?
I think each place has its own areas for improvement, and also it depends on the individual person. So, like for example, this morning I like to start my day with a good coffee, and here I found it hard to get a really good coffee. But other people don't like coffee, so that wouldn't be a problem for them. The service here at the Chill is great. The people are so friendly and kind and attentive, and so different places have different requirements. But I think actually tuning into customer needs wherever you are in the world or Ghana, tuning into the customer needs, having a good service culture, and also protecting the environment, because people come because they want to experience nature and a clean environment. And then the good infrastructure, to be able to get to these places relatively easily, on decent roads. So that benefits the tourism industry, but also benefits the local people, the farmers, who can get their products to market more easily if the roads are in good condition. And that'd be my suggestions.
That is a great one there. This is Gregory Andrews, the Australian High Commissioner, and it's a privilege to have him here at the Chill, especially in the Volta region, doing all the amazing things, giving out to those beautiful children to mark the World Menstruation Day, and promising to give solar panels to the Siamekume community. I am your tourism enthusiast, Fred Duhoe. Watch out for more. Thank you, Gregory.
You're welcome.
Just a blow.
Yeah.
Nice one.
See you, everyone.
Bye.